Fittings YouTube. It is Friday the 14th of October, about 10:35 AM. It's a bit damp today, but I need to get some more paint on these bits. So this has been painted underneath, remember, and flipped over. I've given it a bit of a scrape. I'm just going to quickly hit it with the grinder with a wire brush to remove everything, and then I'll get some paint on that and on the tail. Sweet. I've had this heat lamp underneath. Well, it's not a heat lamp, or it is being used as a heat lamp, but it's just a standard halogen 500 watt without the front on. And yeah, gives that a bit of heat and then we'll be ready to go. I really like this grinder that I got from Lidl for the simple reason it's adjustable speed, which if you are weak is very handy. So that's one. I don't ever really use it on full, so I'm just going to use it on speed 1. I'm just going to knock something in to stop that falling all over the place. Right, power level 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to talk about this for a minute. This is the round bit you can see here, which incorporates this bit and the same underneath. That is a standard wheel axle bearing type thing, and then all I've done is I've put a square block on here so that I've got a good weld on the shaft collar, which is 25mm. A little close up here of where the nut is welded on, and what actually happened was, if you weld it too much, the nut starts to destroy itself. So if you see a close up of that and you think, oh, that's dodgy, that's got more than enough on it, it's not going anywhere. My welding has improved over time. This was welded quite a while ago, but that isn't coming off. On with the paint. Just a quick thing I do once, I'm not a big fan of wearing gloves, so once I've got it all cleaned up, basically I don't want my greasy fingerprints on it. So let's get that on there. That's still nice and warm, so the paint, even though I added a lot of thinners, it should dry quite quickly. The metal paint I'm using is very thick, and I found if you add 50% thinners to it, not only do you get a massive amount of coverage, but it goes on a hell of a lot easier, and it saves you money, which we obviously all want. See how runny that is, look. I think it's got some water in it. You can see the beads of water coming off. You see them? So I'm just going to splodge it on thick for now, and then we'll see what we've got. Anyone who works with mild steel will know it's quite tricky to stop it rusting. So preparation is the key. Get rid of all the grease, anything loose, any dust, then clean it with thinners. And I personally like to warm it up a bit, because I think it helps the paint take to the surface, and obviously there's a quicker drying time, we hope. Make sure it's everywhere it can go. I prefer this method to the brush method, but I usually use both eventually. Okay, I'm going to move one of the lamps under there for 5 minutes. We don't want to boil it. That's looking pretty good to me, my friends. Now we can take advantage of the fact that the tail is warm. I can give it a very quick going over with the thinners. We've got a few bits where the paint is like that. That's not really a big deal. I might deal with it, I might not, but you won't notice it from 20 feet away anyway. Right, this bit I'm not going to paint for the simple reason that it slides in to a slot that I made on the wind turbine frame, and therefore I think if I load it with too much paint, it's not going to slot in there. Just going to put that on there for 30 seconds at a time and keep moving it up. Give that 1 minute, then it will be ready. It's looking good. That can go back under the tail. That's good. I think we've got it all. Should really get another coat on here. Keep the paper towel away from the fire. So this is the bearing at the rear of the turbine. Sweet, definitely be keeping those. I'm not sure which one's knackered, maybe they all are, but we shall see. But I'm not throwing them in the bin. Sweet. Break time. You will notice a few spots with what I will call my old welding before I didn't have a clue. I can't even remember why these were welded on here. Oh, that's kind of a... these bits don't make sense, but you can see here I've welded a nut on so that a bolt can be put in to tighten that up. There's a join there. This is 60mm, and there's like a 50mm piece in the middle. Same there, where I've just welded some extra stuff on. You might be able to see the join. And then this is a 50mm piece of pipe, again welded into that. This I made myself, which is like 10 inches of 60mm, then a square plate welded on, then 6 holes drilled in, and then I just welded on these as extra supports. It has 6 nuts welded on to tighten up, which then joins to this bit, which I nicked off the Chinese wind turbine, this thing here, which again is just welded on using supports. Whatever works, that's all I'm interested in. Need to figure a way of trying to get rid of the rust from places like that and that. So yeah, definitely break time. This is just a close-up of the drive shaft, which is 25mm. Actually, I bought this and they sent 1 inch instead of 25mm, so I'd spend about an hour with the grinder to take it down a bit so everything fitted on. You'll see there's quite a few bits where it's been recessed, and that is for bolts to go in. You see there's quite a few. There's some, because I've changed the design so many times, there's quite a few in there, but they all did different things at one point. This is the gear sprocket which fixes to this, and all you have to do is put an M8 bolt through there and it magically aligns up with one of the slots. I can't remember at this exact second which is the front and which is the back. I think yes, I think this is the front, because I'm pretty sure that's one of them for the blade hub. So one bolt will align up with this, and then the other bolt on the other side aligns up with this. Okay, and that means it just won't come out. The same with this. As long as there's a bolt in there and it's tight into that recess, it's all good. So this will need some cleaning, and I'm going to try and find out what the best thing is just to put on it. Get some rust prevent. I don't want to paint it because it'll make everything, it'll make getting the bearings on very hard. So yeah, I'm going to go have that break, but this is looking good, looking very good. Sweet! Just to get a record of the time, it's now 11:30. I think I did mention the time when I started, so I like to keep track of how much time I've spent on this, which is a lot. Cheers!